Humans are born prey. Fragile, afraid. The Imperium selects a chosen few. Children we break over decades of conditioning, purging them of weakness, carving out their fear. Those that survive are reborn with the strength to level cities, to conquer worlds. But power must be controlled. Fear forged into obedience, into faith. Centuries ago, I chose a child filled with pain and rage. A child who had never known fear. What could a soul like that be capable of?
In the 10th year of the 31st millennium, a shadow fell over the Sol system. The Alpha Legion, masters of deception and sabotage, had slipped into the heart of the Imperium, undetected, unchallenged, and unseen. Their mission, ordained by Horus Lupercal, was simple: to soften Terra's defenses for the coming storm. Alpharius, one of the Legion's twin primarchs, led the charge, his 200-ship fleet lurking in the asteroid fields beyond Pluto like a pack of wolves. What followed was not a battle but a symphony of chaos, one that would echo through the system for 4 long years. The Alpha Legion's tactics were drawn from the pages of the Horus Heresy, Deliverance Lost, a playbook of infiltration so precise it bordered on art. Their operatives, using gene mask technology stolen from Dark Mechanicum archives, replaced Imperial officials in Terra's defense ministry. They forged orders diverting supply convoys to abandoned outposts. They whispered lies in taverns and market squares. The Emperor has abandoned us. Horus comes to free us from tyranny. By 30,012, M31, riots had erupted in the hive cities of Necromunda, and a cadre of corrupted tech priests had begun sabotaging the void shield generators surrounding Terra's Sanctum Imperialis, the golden-walled core of the Emperor's power. On Terra, Rogaldorn, Primarch of the Imperial Fists, the Emperor's wall, knew something was wrong. The reports he received were contradictory. Supply ships vanished without a trace, guard rotations were altered without his approval, and a squad of his Astartes had been found dead in a maintenance tunnel, their throats slit with blades bearing the Alpha Legion's Hydra sigil. Dawn was a primarch of order. Chaos unsettled him. He paced the command center of the Sanctum Imperialis, his boots clicking against the marble floor, his hands clasped behind his back. "I'm not destroying homes," he muttered to himself, recalling the day he ordered the demolition of 3 hive districts to expand the Sanctum's defensive perimeter. "I am forging humanity's last fortress." The words, borrowed from Rogel Dawn, the Emperor's Crusader, were a mantra, one he repeated to silence the voice of doubt that nagged at him. In 30,014, M31, Alpharius struck. His fleet emerged from the asteroid field and attacked Pluto, the outermost defense of the Sol system. The battle was brief but brutal. The Imperial Fists, led by Dawn himself, fought with the fury of men defending their home. Dawn and Alpharius clashed atop Pluto's icy surface, their power swords ringing as they traded blows. Alpharius, ever the trickster, tried to distract Dawn with illusions of fallen Imperial Fists, but Dawn saw through the ruse. With a single swing, he cleaved Alpharius's torso in 2. As the Primarch's body fell, it dissolved into a cloud of smoke, a hologram. The real Alpharius, Dawn realized too late, had already downloaded the Sol system's defense schematics into his ship's databanks. By the time Dawn's fleet destroyed the Alpha Legion's cruiser, the damage was done. Elsewhere in the galaxy, other loyalist legions fought to reach Terra. Jagatai Khan, Primarch of the White Scars, had been battling orcs in the Chondak system when word of Horus's betrayal reached him. The White Scars, a legion of hunters and raiders, were masters of hit-and-run warfare, their culture rooted in the nomadic tribes of Chogoris, Khan's homeworld. Khan split his fleet into small strike forces, as described in Jagatai Khan, Warhawk of Chogoris, and launched a guerrilla campaign against Horus's supply lines. They destroyed the Calixis hub, a major traitor supply depot, and ambushed a convoy of Death Guard ships carrying plague bombs. But the cost was high. By the time the White Scars reached the Sol system, their numbers had been cut in half. The stage was set. The Alpha Legion's infiltration had weakened Terra's defenses. The White Scars and Blood Angels were en route, and Horus, his fleet massing at the edge of the system, prepared to strike. On the first day of the 14th year's first month, the sky above Terra darkened. Horus's fleet, 10,000 ships strong, emerged from the warp, their hulls black as pitch, their banners emblazoned with the symbols of chaos. The attack began at once. Perturabo, Primarch of the Iron Warriors, and a strategic genius of unparalleled skill, led his legion against Uranus. Ezekiel Abaddon, Little Horus, so named for his resemblance to the War Master, attacked Pluto. Their goal, to seize the Elysian Gate and Stygian Gate, 2 ancient Golden Age starports that bypassed the Mandeville Point. The Mandeville Point, as defined in the Warhammer 40,000 core rulebook, is the safest point in a star system to enter or exit the warp, a region where the gravitational pull of stars and planets is weakest. Ships using the Mandeville Point suffer minimal damage and avoid detection. The Elysian and Stygian gates, however, were far more powerful. They allowed ships to enter the warp directly from the Sol system, cutting travel time by 70%. For Horus, seizing the gates meant he could reinforce his army quickly before Gilliman's Ultramarines or the Lion's Dark Angels arrived. On Pluto, Abaddon's fleet outnumbered the Imperial Fists 3-1. The defense was led by Sigismund, captain of the Imperial Fist's First Company and the First Emperor's Champion, a warrior whose skill with the sword was legendary. Pluto's defensive perimeter was a masterpiece of Dawn's design, a network of artificial satellites armed with macro cannons and missile launchers, all linked by a void shield. For 3 days, the Imperial Fists held out. They destroyed dozens of traitor ships, but Abaddon's forces kept coming. On the 4th day, Dawn ordered a retreat. The Imperial Fists fled, leaving the satellite forts behind. Abaddon's fleet swarmed the forts, eager to claim their prize. That was when Dawn's trap was sprung. The tech priests, who had built the forts, detonated their cores. The explosion was catastrophic. Plasma and shrapnel tore through the traitor fleet, destroying 1/3 of Abaddon's ships. As the traitors reeled, the imperial fists turned and attacked. Sigismund, his chainsword, black sword glowing with holy light, led the charge. He boarded Abaddon's flagship, a smaller vessel also named Vengeful Spirit, distinct from Horus's own Monk battleship, and challenged Abaddon to single combat. The duel, described in the Horus heresy, the Lost and the Damned, was a clash of titans. Sigismund's blade danced, cutting through Abaddon's power armor like paper. Abaddon, fueled by chaos, swung his axe with brute force, but Sigismund dodged each blow. Finally, Sigismund struck his sword, severed Abaddon's right hand at the wrist. Chaos energy erupted from the wound, searing Sigismund's left shoulder. Abaddon roared in pain, but he did not fall. He ordered his crew to abandon the ship, and as he fled, he vowed revenge. On Uranus, Perturabo's attack was a masterclass in siege warfare. The Iron Warriors, a legion of engineers and siege specialists, advanced with mechanical precision.